Hey everybody, hope you guys are having an awesome day today. I wanted to make this video to help you out with today's material and today's assignment because what we're going to cover today is going to build onto, it's going to help you guys do part 2 of our Unit 2 test. Okay, so I just want to help out, and also I think some of this material is kind of fun, so I wanted to share it with you. Alrighty, so flowcharts. Flowcharts are actually something that you probably are very familiar with. Maybe you don't use them like hands-on very much, but they influence your life quite a bit. I'm going to share with you how that is and where you see that. And then I've got some fun examples to share with you about them also. So a quick definition of what a flowchart is usually it's a visual of the steps or instructions followed in a process. And it usually looks something like this here, where you start with the jumping, how do I say that, like the starting point. I can't speak or think, I guess. You have the starting point, and then you usually have two options of a yes or a no. And you keep following it down, and as you hit yeses, you keep continuing down the flowchart until you end at like a solution or a desired result. And usually no's will end up looping back so that they can become a yes. Now I'll show you what that looks like. So here is an example of a flowchart, and this is kind of a silly one, but it's a good example. Is you are in a situation where zombies are everywhere, and you come across a person, you ask yourself, is this guy a zombie? If the answer is no, it's a lie because it really is, and you die. If the answer is yes, can you escape? No, death. If the answer is yes, hide in a small confined space with a group of people from different backgrounds, per the usual of most zombie shows or zombie movies, but then it usually ends up leading to death. So I guess in this situation, the starting point is they're zombies and the ending point is just death, which I feel kind of bad bringing this one up because it's not very happy. Here's a better one, hopefully. So in this one, I've heard this one a bunch, and I've actually seen it on t-shirts. It's the engineering flowchart. So when you're an engineer, you fix problems and you solve like mechanical things. And so here you are asked the question, does something move? If the answer is no, should it move? If the answer is no, it shouldn't move, then you're good. There's no problem. Does it move? No. Should it move? And the answer is yes. Pretty much, if you use WD-40, it's kind of like a grease, a spray, and it makes basically anything move. Anything that's stuck that needs to move, WD-40 can fix it, or at least that's kind of the joke. And then on the other side, you got duct tape for if something moves and it shouldn't move. Something's rattling or out of place, use duct tape. It'll keep it from moving and it'll fix it. So that's kind of like the ongoing joke with engineers that WD-40 and duct tape can fix any problem. Okay, this next one I thought was super funny. There's a fluff ball flying around. Anyway, so I thought this one was actually pretty funny. It says, am I annoying? And it says, do you do CrossFit? So that's the starting off point. Sorry to those of you that might do CrossFit or interested in CrossFit. Anyway, I know I don't mean to make fun of you, but I think it's funny that this is kind of just a standard joke, that CrossFit's annoying. So do you do CrossFit? No. Then it asks if you're a teenager. I apologize again to all of you that are teenagers. I actually think you guys are awesome, so I'm not trying to make fun of you at this point either. It says, no, you're not a teenager. It says, are you vegan? And then it says, do you have a podcast? Because everybody talks and brags about their podcast, which I do that, so I'll make fun of myself. Basically, all these things lead to that you are annoying, or that you're probably not annoying. One of these says, do you think everyone should be vegan? One says, do you have children? Are they exceptional? Then you're probably annoying. Or I guess if they are exceptional, then that's awesome. And if they're not, then you're probably annoying. Or maybe I got those mixed up. Are you really, really passionate about something? Are you expecting to have kids? Because you feel so #blessed? Is it stressful? Anyway, you can go through that and read more about it. But man, yeah, I read that and found it. I thought it was pretty funny. So here is an example of where you guys see flowcharts. So flowcharts are how Alexa works, or Siri, or any other voice-based system that you have on a computer. So literally, if you think about it, if you've used Siri or Alexa, you ask them a question, and either they give you an answer, which is usually like the yes, you know, it solves your problem, or they give you a no, and then they'll do one of two things. They'll give you a no and it kind of stops there, like they can't solve your problem or fix whatever, or they ask more questions to clarify, so that way it can loop back to becoming a yes and finding you an answer. So if you have an Alexa or have Siri, test it out. I mean, you can kind of see it in work, or to kind of see it working. This, you can read through this if you want to. It kind of explains how it works a little bit. It's very simplified, but it's also still a little bit complicated. But computers use flowcharts. You know, when you try to solve a problem with your computer, it analyzes, like, if it has an answer to it or no, and if it doesn't, it tries to find a way to solve it for you. I've told you guys I used to work at a bank, and at the bank there was tons of situations that could happen. You know, someone comes in with the check that is written out to them and someone else. What do you do? Someone comes in and they're trying to pull money from their 401k. Like, what do you do at that point? Someone's trying to cash a check that's from a foreign country in foreign funds. How do you do that? And whenever you'd have those situations, I mean, they're complicated, and the bank had flowcharts. And so you could look it up and say, oh, someone's trying to cash a check. Do they have this? Go to this step. Are they trying to do this? Yes or no? Go to this step. And so when I was at the bank, even though there's literally just dozens upon dozens, if not hundreds of different situations that you could come across, and I wasn't expected to memorize all of the answers, I could pull up the flowcharts and figure it out from there and make it work and do my job. So flowcharts are pretty cool. I think they're pretty neat. They're a good way to solve problems, and also a good way to understand how to solve a problem, to kind of think it through and visualize it. And that's also part of the reason why we're doing this, is because our final test, like our Unit 3 test, is going to be in Scratch, and I would encourage you to use a flowchart when it comes to that point with our Unit 3 test, so you can visualize and plan out how you want Scratch to work. Okay, now before I jump into our assignment, I wanted to tell you guys, address kind of a few of the Bellwork questions. One of the Bellwork questions asked, what do computers do well? What computers do really well is they follow instructions. They're awesome at following instructions. You tell a computer what to do and it will do it like perfectly. It'll follow your instructions exactly. Now that's an awesome thing, but it's also kind of problematic, because what if you write bad instructions? Then it doesn't know how to follow you. So when you're working with computers, you need to be able to illustrate what you want done in a clear, precise way, so that it happens the way that you want it to. And then if you can write your instructions well, a computer can follow it and do it exactly like you have planned or you're thinking of. Yeah, that was the question. That was the Bellwork question I wanted to address with you guys. Okay. Oh, and the Bellwork question: what is a computer not very good at? Computers are not good at thinking for themselves, right? If you give a computer, think about Alexa. If you ask Alexa a question that's kind of misleading, it's hard for Alexa to clarify, like, oh, are you talking about this or this, right? It can't think through the options. It has to ask questions and get clarification. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to show you guys our assignment. So the assignment is, I'm going to have you guys write a flowchart. A very, very basic, simple flowchart where you're going to make or write down instructions for how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which I love PB&Js. Hopefully you guys do too. So you can both write it and then follow the steps after to make yourself a snack. But you also have a chance to earn extra credit for this assignment. And I'll kind of just tell you that now. The extra credit is write the instructions, and if you go onto Canvas and find this assignment, you can see exactly what the instructions are and what the requirements are. So write out your flow chart, and then if you have someone follow your steps and follow it as if they were a computer, where they follow your instructions meticulously and they don't try to like interpret what you were saying. And if you record them either with photographs or videos and then email it to me, I will give you extra credit. I'll give you double points for this assignment. So that is essentially, this could make up for a different assignment that you haven't done. So hopefully that's kind of fun. Hopefully that's a way to kind of shake things up. And like I said, if you write good instructions, you could have someone else make you a snack off of this assignment. So you're welcome. Okay, make sure to email me if you have any questions. I'm available between the hours of 11 and 12 specifically. I'm vigilant watching my emails during that time so I can answer your questions as fast as possible. So shoot me an email if you have questions or need clarification, and I would be happy to make another video if you guys need me to help explain how to do this assignment. So keep in touch, let me know. Hope you guys are doing awesome and have fun.